name's Megan and welcome to my channel. I go by the Gem Stitchery here on YouTube and also on Instagram. And today I'm going to go through my 2024 whips, and then at the end I'll talk about my 2025 goals, plans, hopes, dreams, aspirations, whatever you call them. So a little bit about me before we get started. I live in Texas, the very southern tip of Texas. I'm about 2 hours from Mexico. I live here with my husband and our two little girls. They're 5 and 2.5. I'm also a full-time nursery nurse, so I work with babies from the minute they're born until they leave the hospital. I've been cross-stitching since about 2018. One of my whips is from 2018. If you've been here at all, you've seen it plenty of times. Maybe this is the year that I actually finish it, who knows? And then I'm also a quilter, so I decided to try DIY hang up this Christmas quilt behind me, so you didn't have to look at my IKEA shelves back here that are just plain and boring, and currently organized. So this is a quilt I made, I believe, about 2 years ago. It's actually all quilted. I quilted it in a gold thread. The only thing I have left to do, it's bound and everything. But I like to do a combo of hand quilting and machine quilting on my quilts. So what I'm doing right now is around these green stars, I'm actually hand quilting. I don't know if any of these have been hand quilted. This one, maybe if you're watching on TV you can see, just around the perimeter of the stars, I'm hand quilting with some thick green thread. It also gives it a little extra crinkle, and I love the crinkle. That's my favorite part of quilts. Pulling them out the dryer after they've been washed and dried the first time to see all the crinkle. So if this falls, it is what it is, and let's get started. Okay, so my first whip I did, it's quite old. I'm pretty bad with stats and fabrics, so you'll just have to bear with me here. This is a mashup I did of two Lizzie Kate Halloween Rules patterns. So I used these tiny little spiders from Sit a Spell, and then I used the ghost and the dog from Wear a Costume. So I can't show you my little DIY chart, but I can show you my progress. Look, I even have like a needle and thread still hanging in here. Okay, so here's where we are. Just some scrap. This is probably a 28 count piece of linen. And then I did the row of spiders up here. I've done the ghost, I've done the dog. I think I've done all of it. The dog needs eyeballs. And I believe that's it. And then I just have to finish the spiders down here. So there's a total of 6 spiders. I've done 1.5. So 4.5 spiders to go. This is actually an embarrassment to call a whip because it has been a whip for probably like 2 years. So go check out my Instagram, hold me accountable. Hopefully you'll see this in the next day or two as a finish on my Instagram account. Bear with me, I am gonna put them back in the bags. I won't zip them, but I just gotta try and stay as organized as possible. Okay, this next one is from Hands on Design. This is the Scary Apothecary series. So I'm not gonna go through all of them. I'm sure they've been around for a long time. I'm sure you've seen them all. I'm calling this a whip. Well, I think I'm actually in the middle of one, but I'm calling it a whip until the whole series is done. So yeah, I've done these 3: Skeleton Potion, Broomstick Fuel, and Spider Legs. And then I'm still working on Cauldron Cleaner. And I believe I'm using all of the called for colors. If not, they're very, very similar to the called for colors. And this is on some kind of 28 count even weave Lugano. It's a light gray color. Oh, I'm just kidding. I stuck the sticker here because I know myself and I know I don't remember fabrics. This is on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugano. So I got the Lugano part right. It's just 32 count, not 20 count. Oh no! I don't know if I stuck this on the chart or if it came off my fabric and adhered to the chart. Okay. Crisis averted. I actually don't know how many whips I have. I'll have to kind of count them at the end here. Okay, this is a big one. This is a cute little bag. Oops, chart's there. Look at that cute little charm, little mushroom. I actually won this at a retreat. Stitching in the Mitten, held by RATM from Quaker Fantasies. She has a shop in Monroe, Michigan called Review Stitching. If you're ever in the area, or even if you're like within a 90-minute radius of Monroe, Michigan, I highly, highly recommend you check it out. So this is Bygone Stitches One Nation. I know you've seen this before. So I'm stitching this on 28 count pewter Lugana. And I started this quite a number of years ago. I don't even know. Probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I changed most of the colors. Here's what I have so far. Okay, and so my problem with this is I love stitching on 25 count 1/1. Love, you know, the fabric, the softness, the color, it's great. My problem is, you can probably tell in video, that these stars do not stand out really on this fabric. And so I've been at a crossroads for a number, months, year and a half, 2 years, because it's a big project. I don't want to put all the time and effort into this for it to not show up on the fabric and for me to constantly see it and be disappointed every time I look at it. So I like the piece. I've got all the floss here. I've got more floss, don't worry, that's not all of it. But I think what I'm gonna do, I'm either just gonna chop all this stitching off and use the scrap piece of fabric for something else, or I'll finish the stars in here and then frog this little bit of stitching so I can have enough for a border, and this little bit down here, and then just frame this into some kind of little patriotic pillow or something. So if you care to leave your thoughts and comments down below, let me know, because I'm really stuck. I've been stuck for, like I said, like probably 1.5 years, 2 years on this, just stagnant, don't know what to do with it. It's hard for me to throw it away because I know, you know, all the time and effort I put into it, but I've also spent probably as much time not stitching it because I don't like the fabric. And I know a lot of us have been there before, so share your wisdom, please. Okay, let's see. Next up is my own design, actually, called Mardi Gras Crowns. I don't actually have a finished picture here for you, but this is in my Etsy shop if you like Mardi Gras or you're a New Orleanian. I always say born and raised in New Orleans. I was born in Jackson, Mississippi, but I've lived in New Orleans since I was like 2 or 3, so it's just easier to say born and raised in New Orleans. So born and raised in New Orleans for 24 years until I got married and moved to Michigan. But here's my Mardi Gras crowns. So down here it says Gras. At the top it's going to say Mardi, and then this green circle comes around to the top to Mardi, and then back around to the bottom to Gras. So that's it. It has been a whip for a number of years, so maybe Mardi Gras season's coming up. Maybe I'll work on this some. But that's Mardi Gras Crowns by me. It would also be super cute if you don't want to do the whole thing, if you just did each of the individual little crowns as like a pillow, where this one could even be a scissor fob. That'd be really cute. Okay, next up is Advent Season Ornament Set by Heartstring Slamplery. So I have done this one and this one. So these two you won't see today. And I believe I'm, oh, actually, I think I got that wrong. I did. I did this one, and I'm working on this one. Oh, actually, just kidding, got that all wrong. I'm done. But anyway, here it is. Not a whip, still in the Wip Parade. Yeah, it has two little trees down here on either side of the base of the vase of the planter, but I'm not going to do the trees. So there we go. I don't know if I'll do the last one, the Hope Star. Maybe so, but right as of now, it's not on my list of things to do. Okay, next up. So I don't have the chart in here for this one. I think I actually gave it to my mom, but this is Wise Men Still Seek Him by Lizzie Kate. I'm doing this on just a blue 28 count scrap of linen. I'm doing this 1/1, so there's where we're at. And then it has baby Jesus and a manger down here. And then stuffed in here I have another whip as well. This one was from, I believe this was from Just Cross Stitch. Yes. The Christmas ornament edition from this year, Just Cross Stitch magazine. So I don't have the magazine here with me, I just have the pattern. But it's called, I can tell you what it's called. So Blessed. So it's a Christmas tree, and then it has a pyramid of 6 spools right here with a little needle and thread sticking out. And so I'm using DMC for the tree, and then for the spools I'm actually doing 6 different fancy floss blues that would just be fun to use. And then I'll finish it hopefully as a tree stand up and a little spool and keep it up here on the shelves of my sewing room. Okay, next up is Hands on Design, a year celebrations season. I think she calls this season 1 now, but the original year celebrations. This has also been a whip for a number of years, and I think honestly I've just decided I'm done. I did January, February, March. And then I've done like the cloud for April. So I think these just aren't calling to me anymore. I'll snip off this top row. Probably just honestly cut the cloud out and throw that away, and then save all the rest of this linen. This is 28 count cashel linen from Fiber on a Whim. Oh, it's cappuccino. 28 count linen from Fiber on a Whim. But yeah, these 3 are cute, but I have no desire to do the rest of them right now. If I do, I still have the pattern. So I'm gonna throw this in the not a whip pile along with the heartstring advent ornament. Okay, this one I just recently started this Christmas season in December. It's Patchwork Deer by Heart and Hand. Super cute. I'm doing my own color conversion, which if you've been here at all or you follow me on Instagram, you know I do pretty much every single time, because pulling the fabric and the thread is like my favorite part of the whole thing. Just like in quilting, my favorite part is the fabric pull in the beginning. So this is stitched on 25 count Prim Lugana, and this is where we're at. So I've got all the deer done, Magic Little Christmas. I was working on the flower here. There, if you can see. So I've got the flower to do at the top. I've got the whole board that goes up and around, and then the snow down here. So this is the beginning of the snow. And I'm actually using a ball tip needle for the first time, so that's been fun. I've been enjoying that, not stabbing myself like 20 times during a project. I like that. I really love the band in the middle of the deer and those fancy flosses. I love the depth of that red. So that will definitely be a finish soon. I'll get back to that. Okay, next up is another Christmas whip. I started this one this year, but not during the Christmas season, earlier in the year. This is Baby It's Cold Outside by Heartstring Samplery. I know you've seen this one around. This one's very popular. Some people have changed it to blues, a big blue bar in our house. I kept with the theme of the colors, so I did do the red, but I pulled my own colors and my own fabric. Let's see if there's a tag on this one to tell me. There is not. We've got threads, we've got needles. Give me 1 second and move the needle down. Okay. Oh, I do. This is from, okay, this is Laura's fabric. Laura is Ari's daughter from Riverview Stitching in Michigan. She dyes her own fabric. So she has a whole bunch of fabrics. Go on riverviewstitching.com, look up Laura's fabrics. They're beautiful. This one is 36 count. But I don't have the name. I just know it's Laura's fabric. And they've got, look, owl. That's it. I'm doing this 1/2. I'm enjoying the colors and stitching it. I just, squirrel moment, stopped and got sidetracked by something else. Okay, next up is Patriotic. This one I do not have the chart. This one I think I also gave to my mom. It's a Lizzie Kate Patriotic small. It's like an Uncle Sam Yankee. It might be Yankee Doodle. That might be it. So this is a hat, Uncle Sam's hat. All I have left to do is the other 2 red stripes here and here, and then finish filling in the blue here. I think it's supposed to say Made in USA or Bless the USA or something like that. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing the hat. But I thought that's really cute. It'd be a really cute small. So I gave the chart away because obviously you don't need it for just the filling in portion. Ooh, okay, next up is a big one. So this one's one of my favorites. So this was a market release from Ari this year. It's called From Toledo to Toledo. And it's gorgeous. The picture, like everyone says, the picture does not do it justice whatsoever. It's huge and it's stunning because she did hers on 28 count, I believe. Yes. And it is 205 by 261. So it's really big. She did it on one of Laura's fabrics. It's stunning. So I, like everything else, chose my own colors, chose my own fabric. This one I have plans for. So my goal for this one is to put it in our master bedroom. And so in the middle, Laurie charted an A, but yeah, she did an A, or it might be an M, I'm not sure. I think it's an A. She did an A for Ari, but she has a whole alphabet in the chart. I'm going to do J because my last name starts with a J. And then I'm going to frame this and put it in our bedroom. It's kind of beachy vibes. And then I have other plans for other samplers and, marriage, love kind of pieces. But here's where I am. So that's the whole width of the top. And then that very bottom stitch down there is how tall it's going to be. So that'll give you an idea. I'm doing this 1/1 on 25 count parchment, I believe. Again, I love the colors, love stitching in this, love that it's 1/1 on 25 count. This one's a lot of fun to stitch on. I was stitching on it quite a bit until Christmas came. And then I always bring a couple of different stitching projects to work because I work the night shift. So every once in a while we'll have downtime and I can stitch. I was bringing this sampler, but it's just too big with the size fabric. Now that I know the size, I could probably cut the fabric down. It won't be such a problem, but it was just a lot to handle with the fabric, so I've been bringing smalls to work. Okay, here is my 2018 start. So if you've been around, you have seen this. This is the Buttons and Beads, Winter Wonderland by Mill Hill. And I actually told you that we moved down to Texas in February from Michigan. And I told you on my last floss tube in Michigan that I was not bringing the beads to Texas. I was going to finish it in Michigan, and that's not true. The beads are right up there on top shelf. And I brought it. I don't know why I won't just finish this. No idea. I have nothing against beading. I don't mind beading. I love the looks of beads. I love the sparkle that beads give a piece. But I just don't know. And honestly, I don't see myself finishing this anytime soon, because Texas in general probably, but especially where I live in Texas, we do not get a winter at all. It was like 84 degrees a couple days ago. So yeah, like I'm in shorts or a t-shirt and shorts. You can't see my shorts. I took my kids to the beach 2 days ago. They played in the water. So it's just, my mom and my sister, when I lived in Michigan, they both live in Louisiana, excuse me. And they always said, you know, we didn't really stitch snow and snowmen and that kind of thing because we don't decorate for winter, because we don't really get a winter here. And I never really understood that because I had, you know, feet of snow in Michigan. But now that I live here, totally get it. Does not feel like winter. It did not feel like fall at all. We were in the 90s still. So it's really hard to decorate the inside of your house with snow when outside is like 80 degrees. So that's probably not going to get finished anytime soon. We'll see. Okay, next up is the Tree Lot by Hands On Design. And I believe I'm stitching this one. And this, I'm proud to say, is on my own dyed fabric. It's a gorgeous green. It never shows up. No, yeah, it's way more foresty green than that. Darn it. Such a shame. That's sort of closer, but it's still a lot brighter in person. Oh well. Anyway, here is where I'm at. Did not work on this one at all this year, I don't think. Which is really a shame because all I have to do is finish this row of trees down here. That's it. I believe I chose my own colors, but I kept with, you know, the feel and the theme of the colors that Kathy chose. And I do have plenty of large enough piece, so my plan is to do all three of them on here. Okay, next up, now this one might be a finish. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Let's see. Pardon me 1 second while I get the pattern out and look at what I've marked off. I think this one's actually finished, so I'll show it to you anyway. This is Patriotic Scissor Pocket by the Scarlet House, and I did the big one in the middle. I might do this one. I probably will not do the little flower. And here's where we're at. Or here's my finished piece. This was 2/2 on 28 count, not sure of the fabric, par for the course, and then I did choose my own colors. Some of them are the called for, some of them are my own. And if you're curious, this big beige croc is a Threadworks. Oh, bummer. I don't have it in here. But if you saw one of my previous episodes, it was a whole thing. My mom couldn't find Threadworks anywhere. I didn't want to pay for shipping. That was more than the cost of the floss. My mom thankfully had it at her LNS, so she bought it and then shipped it to me, and it was close enough to the same dye lot that you couldn't tell the difference. So that needs to go in the FO file. Okay, this one's another one that's been lingering. This is E Pluribus Unum by Jan Hicks Creates. And I'm not doing the words at the top, I'm just doing the flag. Pulled all my own colors, pulled my own fabric. But this one has not been worked on because it's 1/1 and 28 count, and while I have done that, see, this one is 1/1 28 count, that one's done. The Lizzie Kate Wiseman Still Seek Him is 1/1 and 28 count, that's fine. But I think because this is so dense with the coverage of the part with the stars of the flag, that I just have no desire to do it. I love the chart though, so I think there's no way I'm ripping out 1/1 on 28, so I'm just going to have to utilize the rest of the fabric over here for some smalls and then restart on like a 22 count Ada or 25 count something. So we're going to put that in the DNF pile, so that does not count as a whip. Okay, I think I only have 2 more here. So this one is Holly Jolly Sampler by, let me see. I don't know that it says. Oh, Michelle Lutzen. And this is in the Cross Stitch Christmas Festive Favorites. And then this is the sampler. So I liked the design of it. I did not like that it called for black, and black was a prominent color in the design, so I switched the black out for a navy blue. And then this one I also haven't touched in about a year. I have a decent amount done on it though. So this one, if you've been here for a while, you know the story, but I was getting nervous that I didn't have enough room at the bottom, so I went all the way down to the bottom and then did this box to make sure that I had enough fabric left to make it worth my effort to finish the entire piece. And I do, not a ton, but that's enough. So that's where we're at. Like I said, have not picked this one up this year, but I really should get back to it. It's cute. I've got a good chunk done. Okay, and then my last whip is a new start in the past like 3 days. So my parents actually got me this chart, Birds of a Feather Christmas Angel Ornaments, now that it is readily available. I know this was a lot of people's unicorn chart for quite a while, and now that the Colorado Cross Stitcher re-released them and has the rights, I got it. So I have decided actually, so there's a pink, a light blue, a dark blue, and a yellow angel. I'm doing a pink, a lavender, a red, and the dark blue. And there are 4 human members of our family. So I'm going to customize each angel to look like the person in the family and then chart their name at the bottom, because in the pattern there's a full alphabet so you can customize. The only thing I can't decide is if for the dark blue angel, do I keep it a female angel, you know, with the dress and everything, or do I change it to pants for my husband? Just kind of basically I would probably just, you know, cut a triangle out of the stitching right here at the end and make it pants. But now that I think about it, every time I see, you know, angels depicted in movies or illustrations, they seem to always be in kind of like robes or dresses. So what do you think? Do I make the angel with pants? Do I leave it as a dress, call it a robe? It's gonna be in blue. What do you think? Anyway, here's my stitching. I'm doing this on 32 count linen frise by Atomic Ranch. I think that's how you say it. And there's my little pink angel. This is for my oldest. So I'm customizing the hair and the face as well. So she's kind of like a sandy, light brown, sandy blonde at the moment. So we did that, and then it's hard to tell, but she's got blue eyes there. And then the little sash here and the dress around the waist, and then the hearts are all going to be a red color, and she's holding a little heart in her hand as well that I haven't got to yet. So I'm going to stitch all of them on this piece of linen, and then we'll finish those for next year for the Christmas tree, hopefully. I'm horrible about FFOing, so we'll see if that gets done. Oh, and then the frame, the Nerd Hoop, I don't know why I said frame. The Nerd Hoop my parents got me for Christmas from Colorado Cross Stitcher. And then this chart clip my sister got me. It was in my Stitchy Advent from her this year. And I love it because I had the chart in there, but obviously you can't show that, so I took it out. But I have the chart there. I hold my hoop and I just go. It's funny how your stitching changes over the years, because when I started, I was an in-hand stitcher and I couldn't comprehend how anyone would use a lap stand or a hoop or the PVC frame. What is that called? I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And now I would say like 95% of my stitching is in some kind of hoop, and I find it really cumbersome to do hand stitching. So it's just funny how it evolves over time. Okay, moving into my 2025 plans and goals. So in terms of floss tube, if you're a subscriber or you follow me for any length of time, you know I am notorious for doing one floss tube like twice a year. I just fits and spurts. That's what we've been doing for like 3 or 4 years now. So I really want to be more consistent. So for floss tube, my goal is 1 video a month. That's it. 12 days. 12 days of filming, and out of 365 days, I can do that. So I am committing to 1 video a month. I don't know if that's going to be the same time every month, like the beginning of the month, or if it'll fluctuate, or if it's going to be towards the end of the month. But my goal is 1 floss tube video a month. Okay, in terms of stitching, my goal is to focus on patriotic and Christmas. So I love stitching Christmas. I decorate for Christmas for probably about 6 weeks. They go up on Black Friday and they come down usually mid-January or so. And then my patriotic stays up from probably May 1st through really the end of September. At least through August, but probably the end of September, because like I said, we live in Texas and it's hot as heck most of the year. And so those are the 2 seasons that I want to stitch for this year. So I'm not saying I won't stitch other, seasons or other pieces that are outside of those 2 seasons. But most of my stitching this year is going to be patriotic or Christmas. And then another goal I have, this is not planned, kind of embarrassing, but we're just going to be honest here. Hold on 1 second. This giant box is most of my charts. Not all of them, because I got a lot of PDFs. I got some sitting over here on the floor that I bought recently that I haven't put in there. A lot of PDFs. And then this, not nearly as well organized, is my fabric. Whoops, there goes some of it. And that is just a lot. It's a lot for a one-woman show. It's a lot for someone who doesn't stitch fast. It's just a lot, period. And I quilt, like I said, I quilt, so that just in general takes up more room because fabric's bigger. You need a lot of fabric for a quilt. You need other supplies besides the fabric and the thread. You need batting, you need a sewing machine, you need rotary cutters, you need cutting mats. It's a lot. So cross stitch is such a portable hobby that I'd like my stash to be small. So I've decided that for 2025, I am mainly going to stitch from stash. I'm going to stitch the patterns I have. I'm going to use the floss I have. I'm going to use the fabric I have. And I'm going to stitch from stash. Now, hopefully I will FFO things this year, and when I do, I'll have to buy finishing supplies for that. But I do not plan to buy charts, floss, or fabric for most of 2025. If I need like a second skein of a thread for a chart because I run out, I'll obviously buy that. And then for holidays and birthdays, I'll probably ask for cross stitch, fabric or charts or whatever. But my goal is for 2025 to not spend much of my own money on the stitching supplies, as we'll call it. So, oh, I just forgot. I have one more whip I didn't show you. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I can't believe I forgot this one. So I am very lucky to come from, or to have a mother who's very talented. So growing up, we always had cross-stitch Christmas stockings, all four of us, my mom, my dad, my sister, and I. And I decided I wanted to do that for my family. And so did my sister. And my sister has a husband and two little boys, and she has done, for sure, 3 cross-stitch Christmas stockings. She's working on the one for her 1-year-old, but I'm not sure if it's done or not. But if it's not done, it's probably very close to being done. I, on the other hand, I have quilted stockings for my husband, myself, my 5-year-old, not my 2.5-year-old. So I got 3 quilted ones, but I do eventually want to have all cross-stitch stockings. So this is the one I've started for my 5-year-old. It's the Dimensions Gold collection, and this is Secret Santa stocking. I just think it's really classic and timeless. And so I'm stitching this on an Aida that I've chosen because I did not care for the Aida that came with the kit. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's a whole mess. So I have not stitched on this one this year, but here we go. So this is actually, I started down in the toe. So this is down here. I think this was a 16 count Aida. I'm not sure. But there we go. It'll look really cool when it's done. I'm just so unmotivated to do it. And I know I'm not the only one. Like, I know plenty of people have projects, be it large, small, that they want done. They're just not motivated to do it. So if you are one of those people, how do you motivate yourself? Do you tell yourself, I'm going to stitch on it for 30 minutes every day? I'm going to stitch on only this piece every Sunday? Like, what do you do? Help me to get progress on this stocking this year. What do you recommend? Okay, now that the whips are done, I'm going to count them up real quick. This is how many I have. So like I said, my goal this year is just to stitch on Patriotic and Christmas predominantly, to stitch from stash. So I'm not necessarily aiming to get my whip count down at all. I don't think it's too many. Some of them are Christmas and Patriotic, so I might stitch on those and finish them. You never know. But if you have stuck with me through this whole thing, I know there are lots of videos to watch right now. I've already watched several Wip Parades, and I intend to watch several more as I hopefully stay up to midnight stitching. I'm going to do a little giveaway, which I don't think I've ever done on my channel before. But I'm going to give away one pattern I've already stitched and loved, and then a project bag. I do make project bags. I have an Etsy store. I'll list that below if you'd like to take a peek. But here is the pattern. This is 3 Wise Women by Erica Michaels. And it says, 3 wise women brought nappies, formula, and casseroles, then stayed for babysitting, tea, and laundry. And I just think that is so accurate and also hilarious. This is the one that I stitched 1/1 on 28 count. This one. It's just funny. We're ending the Christmas season here, or the holiday season, so I wanted to pass this along. And then the project bag, I know a lot of people like bees, and we're rounding the corner into a new year. So I'm going to give away this bee-themed project bag. So this is a fabric project bag. This one just has light pink lining up here and a cream lining, same fabric on the back that it does on the front. So if you'd like to win the pattern, use the word WISE down below. If you'd like to win The bag, use the word bee. So wise, W-I-S-E, and then bee as in bumblebee, so B-E-E. And you know all the usual rules apply. Not sponsored by anyone except for me. Gotta be 18, gotta be a follower, like the video, leave your comment. Let me know what you're stitching. What'd you stitch on right now? What are your plans for the new year? I really like hearing plans and goals for the new year, so if you care to share that, let me know down below. And until my January floss tube, I will see you later. Bye, y'all.